Hey everyone, it's Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria and welcome to another video. I hope you guys like my top. I just got a set of 4 of these and they're so comfy. I got them off Amazon for like 20 bucks. So yeah, I'll leave a link for them in the description box if you're interested. I'm wearing a small medium, so they have small, medium, and large, extra large, but super comfy, just like daily wear for wearing under, normal clothes or for active wear or whatever. So I had a question on the last video I did about the best food basically that you can eat for improving GI function and feeding your gut microbiome and helping them to grow is sugar. But the question I got was about iron because I had mentioned in the video that sugar enhances iron absorption. So sugar enhances nutrient absorption in general because it helps to feed the microbiome so that they can work, so that the GI tract can function optimally and your microbiome can grow and do its job basically, because all the cells in our body run on sugar. Sugar that helps to create ATP, which is our cellular energy currency. That fuels everything in our body, from our GI tract, our immune system, our mental abilities, our physical abilities. All of that is sugar dependent, glucose dependent, derived ATP. If you have any questions about any of the cellular biology, biochemistry that I discuss, let me know, and honestly consider signing up for my coaching program, because that's where I go into detail discussing the little snippets that I include in these videos, but I put everything into my coaching program to help you get the results that you desire based on understanding how this all works and then applying it with a diet and lifestyle to follow. So I myself used to struggle with iron deficiency anemia. It is very prevalent amongst women, but in the general population, let's see, I wrote here that yeah, iron deficiency is common worldwide and results in iron deficiency anemia. So I was first diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia when I was in high school. I was very pale. I was suffering from chronic fatigue while playing sports. So I went into my doctor and they tested my hematocrit, and they're like, "Oh, you're low. You're borderline anemic." So they had me doing iron supplements, like the traditional, big pills, and increase the red meat in my diet. I did those, didn't do anything, and it's because iron absorption comes down to your gut functioning. And if you're somebody like me who's really sensitive to the foods that you eat, because I have like a dual diagnosis, gut disorder of gastroparesis and irritable bowel syndrome, or if you've come from any kind of a past that's compromised your ability to absorb B12, like surgery or taking antibiotics, there's a whole host of reasons why people develop GI issues. But in order to improve your GI functioning, regardless of what background you come from or what conditions you have, sugar can help with that. A high carbohydrate, low fat diet based on fruits, sugars, and starches. So here's how this impacts iron absorption. Firstly, it's important to understand iron's role in our body, which is a cofactor for many enzymatic reactions, including DNA metabolism, oxygen transport, and cellular energy production. So it can take the form of hemoglobin, myoglobin, or it can be a cytochrome in our oxidative phosphorylation respiratory chain of events that has to occur in order for us to utilize oxygen to create energy, because we need glucose and oxygen to create ATP. So iron, because it's involved in oxygen transport, is extremely important to have a sufficient amount of in your body. So if you're low in iron, it's going to be affecting your energy metabolism and your energy levels, and that's why chronic fatigue is a common symptom. So a test that we use for determining iron status is hemoglobin, and it's because over 65% of body iron is found in hemoglobin. But hemoglobin isn't the only source. I actually recently had a friend tell me that her hemoglobin was normal, but her ferritin level was super low, and because she was having XYZ symptoms, and ferritin isn't typically a test that gets run. So when you go and check your iron status, right, make sure they're running hemoglobin and they're running a ferritin test, because ferritin is our stored iron and hemoglobin is the iron that's going to be actively circulating in our blood, carrying oxygen around. So, yeah, hemoglobin is synthesized in red blood cells and carries 98.5% of total oxygen found in the blood. So it's important to have normal hemoglobin because that oxygen is being transported to our cells to generate energy. So when it comes to dietary sources of iron, we have plant-based iron, which is called non-hemi iron, and we have animal-based iron, which is called hemi iron. And there's always a big debate going on about, which is better to consume in terms of iron. Is it hemi iron or non-hemi iron? And when it comes to hemi iron, I have heard numerous cases of hemochromatosis, which is basically where you have a toxic amount of iron in your blood from consuming animal products, because it only happens when you're consuming too much hemi iron. So non-hemi iron coming from plant-based foods is a very easily regulated form of iron that is also very easily utilized by the body, as long as you're not consuming things that interfere with its absorption. So when it comes to iron absorption is enhanced by sugar, which I was talking about in my previous video, vitamin C, citric acid, and lactic acid, which can be found in like soy sauce. So lactic acid doesn't necessarily come from dairy. It's just a byproduct of fermentation. So it's going to be found in fermented foods. So these sugars, vitamin C, citric acid, and lactic acid, all enhance iron absorption. Polyphenols from tea and coffee, oxalic acid from like spinach, chard, berries, chocolate, tea, phytates from whole grains, corn and legumes, and eggs all actually inhibit iron absorption. So they interfere with it. They don't necessarily block it completely, but they do prevent you from getting all the iron that, you plug into Chronometer and you're like, oh, I'm meeting my daily iron needs, but I'm getting it all from whole grains and legumes, which can be good sources of iron, but they also interfere with iron absorption because of the phytic acid that they contain. So the way that I have now been registering normal levels of hemoglobin is because I've been consuming a diet that's low in oxalic acid, low in polyphenols, low in phytates, doesn't contain animal products, and is high in sugars and vitamin C, because I eat mostly fruits, sugars in the form of, refined table sugar, and starch in the form of white rice. So white rice is actually a good source of iron without the competition of the phytic acid because it's been removed. So when you eat a diet like that, where it's naturally contains the amount of iron that you need to be consuming on a daily basis, which is 10 to 20 milligrams a day, then you're giving your body like all the iron that it needs without any competition, and then you're allowing it to be easily absorbed into your body. Now, it's important to understand too that vitamin B12 and vitamin D also impact iron status. So B12 is involved in hemosynthesis, basically the creation of hemoglobin. So we need to make sure that our vitamin B12 levels are within normal range to ensure that our hemoglobin level isn't being impacted by low iron, by low vitamin B12. Because you could have normal ferritin and low hemoglobin, that would indicate possibly a B12 deficiency. And then when it comes to vitamin D, if your vitamin D level's low, vitamin D aids in regulating inflammation. So it can reduce iron absorption if you are dealing with vitamin D deficiency, because it increases inflammation in the body. So all of these, iron, B12, and vitamin D are all, intricately connected. And these are also, like B12 and D, are nutrients that we're obtaining from our food. We have to take vitamin B12 in supplement form, whether that's injection or a sublingual. And vitamin D, you're either getting from sunlight or you're getting from a supplement, or there's like small amounts in mushrooms and things like that. But dietary vitamin D is, going to be minimal compared to what you get from the sun or what you get from the supplement. So these are just things that, one, you can get tested for. You can go into your doctor and say, hey, I want my vitamin D checked, I want my B12 checked, and I want to check my hemoglobin and my ferritin. And when you get your test results back, you'll be able to see, okay, my hemoglobin's normal, but my ferritin's low, so I need to increase my dietary intake of iron. And if you're already consuming fruits, sugars and starches, you could opt for a supplement at that point. I recommend Flamingo supplements. I really like that brand. They have an iron, and it's a pretty low dose iron, and it doesn't cause any GI issues, and it comes with other nutrients that aid in its absorption as well, or other nutrients that are typically like zinc. Typically can be low if iron is low as well. So it's, this sounds very complex, but it really isn't, especially when you have the diet aspect down. And maybe you can troubleshoot from here that, my coffee consumption every day is impacting my iron status. And if I quit that, then maybe I'll feel better and have more energy because my ferritin level will go up, and so will my hemoglobin level. And then again, troubleshooting the B12 and the vitamin D as well. So I go into depth with this, as well as cellular human metabolism, like the biochemistry and the physiology, in my coaching program. It's a 4-week program where I basically teach you everything that you need to know about, how our body works on the inside. And then I give you a diet and lifestyle protocol to put it all together in order to get the most out of what you're doing in terms of your diet and your lifestyle to, improve your health, lose fat, put on muscle, and just become the most optimal, version of yourself. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave links below, or maybe you already have an understanding of this and you just need my help troubleshooting. You can sign up for my private coaching group that I do through Facebook, and then I also do one-on-one sessions as well. So as always, leave any comments or questions down below, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for this question, and if you'd like me to discuss any other video topics, also leave that down below in the description box, in the comment section. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.